Right, okay, this is a smaller video than usual. I've been aware that my videos are quite long. Some people have said they love this. It's like watching a episode of Car SOS or Wheeler Dealers, but just one person. Well, not Wheeler Dealers, I don't flip cars, but you get the picture, 50 minutes and all that. This is going to be a shorter episode because I'm kind of under the kibosh at the moment with jobs. Beatrix requires a bit of work as well, some of which you may see very soon. Well, some of it has already been done, some of it is yet to be done. Continuity is getting a bit mixed up, so apologies for this, but everything is very close to when I film it. Trust me, I'm trying to get things right. I'm just going to go through what I did since the last episode when we literally wire brushed the front arches down. The rear arches we've yet to have a look at. I have had a look, and the rear arches, especially on the driver's side, it's not as bad as you think. There has been some previous filling work, but not entirely inappropriate. There's a lot of solid metal still in there, so I'm not overly concerned about that. So thank God I'm not having to consider getting the body man to do that. Like I said before, my intention is not to try and pay professional body shops for this. But the other side of things is I am learning on the side to weld. You'll probably see a video maybe in a couple of months, maybe depends when I want to film it, but at the moment it's baby steps. But the biggest cost for me, and this is the problem, I'm spending a lot of money on this car at the moment, more than what probably most people would. That tends to be the theme on my channel, spending more than a car is worth. But that's what this is about. You got to show the love and the passion for these cars. It doesn't matter what it is. I think there's more of a value to money than anything else, but you do have to be aware, and I have to be aware of the excruciating cost of bodywork if there is terminal rot in some areas of this car, which I've not discovered yet at all in any place. The passenger side rear arch, where it's just starting to bubble, that's a lot better. I haven't ground it back whatsoever. I haven't touched the arches, but what I have looked at is how it's coming apart. And on this side, we've definitely got some filler. That'll be for another episode. I have been cleaning in the engine bay. I've had one of these really nice sunny days. Yes, my neighbour's lovely Peugeot 205. That's a lovely car. If you haven't seen videos on that, I've only done a couple of videos on it. He doesn't mind. He loves it. He loves the videos. I've just been a bit of cleaning. Bloody hell. Honestly, glass headlamps. Plastic hadn't really been a thing at this stage. You can't really tell. I tell you what, plastic headlamps, when they're made well, they look exactly like glass, but yeah, I don't think you can wet sand the glass though, so I'll probably just give that a polish, but they've come up really, really nicely. I've got a microfiber which is now semi-dirty. It was yellow, now it's sort of semi-blacky yellow. This is the engine bay, and I've cleaned all round it. Hello wheel, I've put the wheel back on. Yeah, we've got that on that side as well. I'm going to respray the battery tray, but this has gone well, apart from painting the clips as well. That was a really good thing, and painting the shroud. I don't really care. I really don't care. The point is, it's really nice and neat. I mean, if I take you underneath, I'll try not to get my jeans dirty. Oh, I need to go over and put another coat on that. That's not very good. But look, that's the bottom. So I've stone chipped. Now, you see my stone chip? Look at that. That's the stone chip from the factory, the two-tone grey, and that's my stone chip. It's not good enough. I've said it before, but I need to go to a paint shop and get a scan made of that paint, because I am going to need it for the rear arches on both sides when I come to do them, without making it look stupid, because this is the stone chip that I use. Okay, I bought it in bulk. Okay, standard stone chip. And even with a bit of wet sanding, it wouldn't look quite as nice. And I mean, to be fair, even with a spray can, it's not going to match entirely. But if I can get a paint as close to that as possible, it's fine. But as I say, there's no paint code for that grey. Austin Rover, with their two-tone, the grey was called Tempest Grey. But Ford, oh no, they've decided we'll just slap whatever grey we've got on in the factory. And I'm going to show you a few things which suggest the way they pushed these cars out the door was very slap-handed. In fact, we're going to go to that right now. But I'll just show you this. I've cleaned all around the back. I'll put the dipstick back in. The steering rack is now clean. There's nothing to it, you know, it just goes through there. The crossbeam, I've given the crossbeam a bit of a wet sand actually, and it's gone sort of a bronze colour. But you can see everything. I know we've got the wiring in the way, but this inlet manifold has been cleaned a little bit. I will clean more around here. I've given this a bit of rust coat and a bit of rust killer. Now this is the rust killer I use. It's Granville Rust Repair. This is a new bottle because my old ones ran out. That's what I use. It's a normal rust killer. I'll show you the back of it. The liquid rust treatment is a highly effective neutralizer and inhibitor based on organic and inorganic acids. It will be suitable for treating all ferrous surfaces and will quickly remove and neutralize rust. That's exactly what you want. I swear by that. That's one of the best ones out there. Genolite is a good one, but I find it turns a bit white. It leaves quite a stain everywhere. I've actually painted, you can't really see, but I've actually done the hubs in rust killer. I've rust killed all the areas that I've wire brushed down. I'll show you that in a second, but I've just done a bit on the manifold here and there, and I've gone around the block as well. That's all nice and dry, and oh, it looks nice. Gearbox has been sanded down a little bit. It looks so nice. It's huge. It looks utterly huge compared with the manual gearboxes. In fact, it makes the engine look tiny. The gearbox is almost as big as the engine, which is a bit of a contradictory one. I've just been cleaning around the bracket for the throttles and all that, but look at it, it's all just clean down there and down there. I did a bit of painting here because there's a bit of scabbiness coming in, a bit more than I thought. I don't mind. I'm not going to paint this. This is just, you know, normal. There was a bit of rust here that I've just sprayed up, okay? But there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. What I have noticed is that's the only thing I've noticed, and I've got a feeling it's underneath the windscreen, but I think it's just, again, it's just a scab. There's no flakiness. There's nothing to suggest that there's anything terminal. I have lifted this and had a look underneath. I can't do it on camera, but that's clean underneath that windscreen. And again, this area that's been filled, I think it's just been skimmed over. I don't believe there is anything under there. There's a magnet. I put a magnet on it. I've got a bit of there. I'll probably clean that up, but it's looking ridiculously good under there. I'll just shove you there. Look at that cross member. That's how it should look. A bit of overspray here and there. I'm sorry, I didn't mask this. I'm gonna have to try and get that off with a bit of paint thinner. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this lock off as well, because bonnet cable is still stiff, so I'm gonna have to take these two bolts out and clean the whole mechanism up. I'll probably do that today actually in this video, but there's just a few things I want to show you around the back. Right, okay. Right, can you see the paint? Look at that paint. That was done in the factory. It just looks like it's been running. Honestly, I've noticed a few bits and pieces there. I mean, that's only a small example of what I'm talking about. There's a few areas where I think they've literally just slapped it on, out it goes, out the door. Honest to God. Right, I want to show you this zinc primer. I've been doing a bit of zinc primer, so remember, wire brush back to good metal, bit of rust converter in all those areas, bit of zinc primer down there, up there. That area turned out to be really good. Up there where we had all that nasty rust, look how tidy it is, and it should last. The zinc primer should allow a good surface for paint. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of stone chip in these areas, because look, this is from the factory. They literally stone chipped sort of up here on the underbody and sort of went round here, and then they just sort of slapped a bit of diamond white here. Now the truth is the arch liner will cover all this up apart from this area. So what I'm intending to do is, with a bit of masking, I'll probably just do this off camera, but you mask up the pipe, mask up the hose, try and just put something around the spring so you're not painting that, and I'm going to just put diamond white into this area. Don't need to go up there because it's okay, but diamond white where you can see and stone chip where you can't. That's my plan for the front arches, and I think the rear arches are very much black as well. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've also sort of, I mean, I can stick here, I'll stick the camera in there. I don't know if you can see, but I have been cleaning the hubs. I can't be asked to take the wheel off today, but I've put some rust killer on the hub. Look how good that is now. I've even, by the way, I've painted the hangers. That's silver, that's caliper silver paint. As I say, the caliper on that side, stupid idea. Don't do what I've done, guys. I've removed the brake disc. It's now basically in scrap. And I've taken everything off, but what did I do? What I should have done? Yeah, I should have cracked the hose that goes onto the caliper. Now I've got to put it between my knees while trying to crack it off. I hope to God it comes out easily, because God, that's going to be an absolute pain. Always crack things off when things are in situ. Don't do what I've just done there. Learn the lesson, Andrew. But today we are going to take we're going to take that off, obviously, but we're going to get this off, okay? Now, I want to take this rocker cover off. It's not very good, and I think it could do a bit of paint. I've got a feeling that, I mean, Stratos Silver is what I've been told to use, but I think it's got to be a high temp paint. I really do think so. So I'm going to have a think about what to do this in, but I'll just remove that. We've got all these bolts with these special sort of spacers. I'm going to clean these up. You can get stainless ones with new bolts, but I'd rather just keep the originals and keep the spend low and just clean them up. Yeah, I've got this as well. This is, oh, that's just splined. I might be able to take that off. I am reminded that it's all just sort of supported on my jack. Right, let's take this off. Right, okay, I've got my tray over there. Just crack all of these off one at a time. Ooh, they're quite shallow bolts, these. You've got to try and make sure that your socket is well on top of these. There's a few around here. Just loosen all them off and just pull them out. Here we go. And God, these are really stuck down. They're going to need a proper clean, these. Yeah, so I've been cleaning all around the engine bay, and I think the most disappointing part of the engine bay I've yet to sort on this side. I've got to clean that mounting and clean all down here. It's all going to come out very, very soon. I'm at the stage now where I'm waiting for parts and things can start going back on rather than coming off. Now, there's one thing I will look at when we take this cover off, and that is the valve stem seals. Yes, we're going to have a look at them. They're not expensive. I need to get the tool to compress the springs, and hopefully I'll be able to show that to you. The hydraulic tappet sounded okay when I ran the car, but I may just take them out, soak them in oil, make sure that all the rubbish that may have got in there, because I'm aware that CVH engines are not the cleanest of engines. They coke up quite badly. If you don't change the oil regularly on these, they coke up. The oil ways get blocked, and that's when you get camshaft wear. Now, you don't need to remove the cylinder head to change the seals, valve stem seals on these, because the camshaft is buried in the head, not on the top. It's a very weird engine in that sense. Not many overhead cam engines are like this, because it's really almost not an overhead cam where it's seated with it. Excuse me a second, just to put my hands on there. Right, okay, so can it come up forcefully without... There we go, done. Now I want to move this out the way, and off we go. Okay, that looks quite clean. That doesn't. That looks a bit, yeah. Rocker cover gasket is on the way. I've got a new one. We're going to put that just over there so I can see it. Okay. Right, okay, so we've got here, the camshaft is just below here through the centre, okay, and that's what drives the end of the distributor. Now you can see there's a little bit for a drive that drives the mechanical pump. It's just down there, but basically you've got the rocker arms, okay, so these big things are rocker arms. You've got the spring with the collet that sits in there, the valve stem seals, you can't see them because the spring is there, obviously. The valve guides are obviously in the middle of the spring. The rockers are just held on with this nut, and then there's a little spacer here that comes off, and you've got the hydraulic tappet. So the camshaft pushes these hydraulic tappets in the middle, so you've got them all here, okay. And then you've got obviously the rocker arm that acts on the spring to open and close the valves. Very, very simple. That's why a CVH has this wavy cam cover. I always wondered why, for an overhead cam, they're supposed to be slim in the camshaft department. It looks really fat, almost like it's a double overhead cam, but it's not. It's just a single cam. It looks really inefficient, actually. These rockers take up a lot of space. And the reason that you need these rockers is because the camshaft is down there and not above there. Because usually you have your cams with your cam followers pushing the valves, pushing the the hydraulic tappets directly. You'd have one cam there and one cam there. But with this, because the cam is lower, it's all to do with lean combustion. Now this is very different to the head on a pre-1986 1.1, which didn't last long as a CVH, and the 1.3 CVH, which most people be more or less known. That was the original, the proper CVH. This is like an emissions lean burn design of a CVH. Very similar but different. But the compound valve hemispherical head, compound valve angle, meaning the valves are at an angle. This is why the valves are at an angle, and therefore the springs are at an angle, which is why a CVH is a bit more coarse, and they aren't great, are they, for refinement, because the valves are stiffer as a result, because the valves are at an angle. But overall, it doesn't look too bad. To change the valve stem seals, which I will do at some point, I'm going to cover this anyway, because that is going in there to be in the house to be cleaned. But basically, I have to take this bolt out. Basically, beforehand, we'll do it with the timing belt. Timing belt, top dead center. We need to get it top dead center, line the marks up. Then we can start taking that belt off, and we can take some of these off. We'll do it as two separate jobs though, one video at a time. It is a T30. Ooh, that was stiff. Right, this bottom bolt, I've slackened them off. That bottom bolt there, goodness me. What I've had to do is, forget the socket, I've had to put my 10mm over the bit. And, well, even that will not fit there properly. Blimmin' heck. Oh, come on. I've got it in. Oh, that's tight. Right, I think this is a bit of a stupid exercise. And this piece of trim is held in onto this bumper, because this bolt is, obviously as it's coming out, I'm losing space, and I've got no space no more. So what I'm going to have to do is take this trim out. So what you do is there's a little clip. Just bring the camera in. So this trim is held onto the actual plastic bumper with these clips. You just got to pull these clips out. So this one, just get a pick in and just pull. Come on, just surrender, just come out. Right, so that's the clip. Don't lose that. That goes in there. So that is now completely and utterly free. I've got to try the other side now. I don't know if that one is centered, but I'll take this clip out and see where we go. Oh, flipping heck. Right, so that's now free. Now I presume that can, now I've got to be very careful here, because this is where plastic can just, how is that held down? I was under the assumption that it wasn't held down by something. Okay, that's one bolt. There's two. And we have the third that connects the whole thing together. Right, perfect. Right, it's now free. Now remember, I'm not going to clean this at the back, because, well, I'm going to clean all around here, but these markings here will tell me where it sat before. because I don't think you can actually get it very wrong. There is an adjustment. Now look at that. That's got to be cleaned. It's all gummed up here. No wonder it's not releasing properly. There's something free. I don't know what that's about. I'm just going to get some cardboard, and because of how gunky it is, I'm going to go in with carb cleaner. Now obviously plastic carb cleaner, we don't want it being here realistically, but I'm just going to I'm going to get some cardboard and clean this up. So if you've got a Mark III Fiesta with a stiff bonnet release, I think it's gummed up, and in my experience that's a problem, because that could lead to a cable snapping. Another suggestion, pry tool, take the cable out. It's only held in to this plastic piece here. You've got to be very careful not to break that. I don't know how brittle they are, but I'd rather just be careful. So I'll put a bit of GT85, bit of fluid, just to get it supple, and it is just slowly working its way out. Obviously you've got to hold it and do it at the same time, but ideally just keep twisting it, and it will just come out, and then we can get more in there, because it's just it's horrible. That took a million years. I thought this was going to be a short episode. Turns out I don't think not. But the problem is, guys, I can't really mimic it too much, but I think it's getting a bit caught on this shroud here. But you know what I'm going to do? This is going in the house. That cable's going to be cleaned. That's going to be degreased. Fitting is the reversal. Says the Haynes manual. Put the cable back in. Make sure it's all clean and lubricated. Okay. Prevention is better than cure. And you bolt it back in. Line it up to all these old markings, and you should have no problems. Welcome to my parts washer, everyone. Basic and simple. 30 quid it cost me this. Thank God. Oh, this is so thick. Wow. God. Right, fitted, clips back in. This cable has been fitted, and it looks really clean in there. I've cleaned it as much as I possibly can. There's still remnants stuck in there. I just wanted to clean the spring and all of this. I mean, this is nice and free. I just need to probably give it a little bit of more lubrication. Now I've lined it up exactly where the markings were. I didn't clean it. You see the dirt marks? Might be fractionally to the right, but we're going to check. This needs to go directly down there. Okay, it needs to hit this fork. Okay, and we're going to see if that works. Touch wood it does, because if we don't, we're going to have to put our head into the car. So just put the bonnet straight down, and right, watch where that goes. Watch it. That's good. Okay, that's latched. Now, biggie, I've got my keys on me. It was a bit reluctant then. Maybe it was because it was the first time. Now we're going to find out whether I've locked myself out my own car. Well, I've actually locked the door. Right. Put some GT85 in all these locks. Right, what happens? Here we go. There we go. What the hell is that? What the hell's going on there? It's weird, but it did open actually a bit easier, but I don't know what that sound was. So I'm just going to go in here and visually, I mean, I can't really do it from here, but if you listen to this. Feels as if it clicks now. Well, it is operating it. That is very, very weird how it seems to be making that sort of clicking sound. And when I pull this cable, I'll tell you what the clicking is. There was a little rubber bush there that I think it fell off. Now I've got a feeling that bush just disintegrated. I don't know where it is on the floor. I can't see anything. The truth is though, with that bush, it was a bit perished. So I think what we've got here, watch that. Yeah, it's very strange that. I'm just going to lubricate the whole thing again, but I think it's just because the bush is actually missing. It's the only thing with these. But I'm just going to lubricate it again and shut the bonnet again until I'm actually satisfied that it actually does what it says it's. It's not entirely happy. Okay. Right, okay. What's happened here, and this is where you've got to be careful. I think I've moved it too far to the right, and that's why it's not entirely happy. So I would just slacken off the bottom one and just slide it across a tad. So I'm going to do that and then cut back. Right, I've adjusted it again, and I can confirm by taking this bonnet prop off again that hits right down the middle, and I almost fell over my ass. There you go, done. The only thing is, because that bush has fallen somewhere, to be honest with you, even though it was perished, it was obviously doing a job, because you do this and it's much easier, but you get that click because the bush stops it, basically that cable, from sort of slipping a little bit. Still requires a little bit of a do. I'll probably look into that again, but ideally the idea was to free it up a little bit, and there's definitely a slight improvement with the mechanism, but the idea is that the bonnet now shuts. I'm going to leave this here, guys. So yeah, just make sure that maybe you don't lose that bush, but the truth is it was kind of just perished. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here with me and the CVH. Good day. Much better.